Hello, this is Shane the Spells. Today we're going to talk about the problem with saving. And there are three issues that I'd like to discuss with you. When it comes to saving, across America, there is a saving epidemic. Although the savings rate has increased over the last several years, since 2008, it still isn't at a level that everyone should be comfortable with. And let me tell you, the first issue with saving is that people don't know how to do it. In my small random sample of life, I've seen several different levels of income. And no matter how much you make, there are still so many people that do not know how to save. Given their current cash flow income, the money that they have coming in on a monthly basis, it's still very difficult for people to understand how to save. And that is something that, if that is you, try to get with a financial advisor and try to learn how to save, even given your current financial situation. Learn how to save. The second thing that I think is very, very important is how much to save. If a person is at a point where they know that they need to save and they have a habit of saving, the problem in most people's lives is once they reach that point, they do not know how much to save. And there is a very important question that you need to ask when trying to determine how much to save. It's what you're saving for. If it's retirement, the question is, how much money in today's dollars do you think you'll need during retirement without having to work? A very, very difficult question sometimes, and loaded question. Why? Because you have to think about it like this. Let's say you're here today, and let's say you have 10 years before you retire. It may be the case that you may be 20 years in retirement, sometimes 30 years in retirement. And let's say 30 years in retirement, you need an income of at least $5,000 a month. That is a very, very long time. So you have to understand at some point how much you need to save today to be able to accomplish your goals tomorrow. The last and final issue that I really like to address is, let's say you get to the point where you know how to save and you're saving and you know how much to save. The last issue is when you're saving, what to put it in. Where do you put your savings? I will tell you this, that if you are keeping all of your saving in the bank, that is like losing money slowly. Why? Because let's say you have saved up $100,000 today and you are 50 years old. If you leave that $100,000 in the bank and at age 60, 10 years from now, you want to take $1 out of that $100,000, the purchasing power of $100,000 in 10 years may be close to half. It may be worth $50,000 to $60,000. And if you leave it in there until you're 70, let's say 20 years, it's probably a third, maybe worth $33,000. So the point is that when you do save, you have to be able to invest in something that at least gets you as much interest as inflation. Because inflation alone will eat away at your money. So in your life, there are three major questions that you have to answer. How do I save? How do I do it? Because I do not know how to save. The second question is, how much should I save? Should I save 5% of my money? If I save 10%, am I safe? If I save 15% of my money, am I safe? If I save 20% of my money, am I safe? Then lastly, when I do save, how much should I put my money in this basket, that basket, or that basket? What should I invest in? because I definitely have to beat inflation. So the value of my money today, if it was $100,000, will be worth at least the value of $100,000 10 years from now. And that bucket might be $130,000, $150,000, still equivalent to the $100,000 that was in place when you started out. So those are the things I want you to be concerned with. There is a problem with saving. There are several problems with savings. We can get into debt and we can get into a whole bunch of other financial situations. But the main thing is that given your current situation, look for the opportunity to save, because we spend so much money on so many things. And the Bible says it's the little foxes that spoil the vine, not the big foxes. The big foxes usually are the things that we can handle. We can handle the mortgage, the rent, or those things that we see. But the little foxes are the smaller things that we don't pay attention to. This is going to the grocery store for one item, a loaf of bread, and leaving the grocery store with $50 worth of groceries. Those are the little foxes. The little foxes are going to the movies on Friday, and then Friday night coming home and renting another movie from Netflix, renting movies all during the day, on Saturday on Netflix or on demand, and then Sunday renting some more movies. By the weekend, you've watched at least 5 or 6 movies. Those are the little foxes. And I'm not saying you can't do it. All I'm saying is that develop a habit of saving, because it builds really, really great character, and most importantly, it builds wealth. This is Shane Spells signing out, and remember, Shane spells wealth. Thank you.